Good morning. Thank you for joining in today. We're continuing our May Mental Health Awareness Month series. And yesterday you may have seen that I posted an image called The Power of Yet. So many of the negative or catastrophic things we can say to ourselves that we can catch ourselves saying while we're meditating, we can start paying attention to our negative self-talk. You've heard me refer to this as the inner ghoul. And so we can counteract this inner ghoul's voice with mindfulness, with correction, but also with the simple word yet is a big part of our toolbox for turning all the catastrophic Satans around. So I don't know yet. This doesn't work yet. I don't understand this yet. This doesn't make sense yet. I'm not good at this yet. I can't do this yet. I don't get it yet. And a lot of my work with children is teaching them the patience to get to that point, to trust, to have confidence in their own competence. I'm a musician and a music teacher. And so a lot of times young people and older people too actually get pretty frustrated if they can't get something instantly. And when I see children like that, I realize just how much we adults are like that too. We really want things to be instant. We're very impatient with ourselves, and so we can be our own worst enemy. The way meditation fits into this role is that we are going to start paying attention to those thoughts. So that will be the anchor for our practice today. We will sit with the rest of our anchors. And as our thoughts and feelings arise, let's apply a yet to any of the talk that the inner ghoul presents to us. And let's begin by getting into the mindful body. Just take a sip of my tea to get rid of morning voice. And at this point, finding comfort in this posture that is strong and straight and relaxed. If you've been meditating for a while, even just identifying the need to get into the mindful body and assuming that position is going to fill your bucket with happy hormones. And that's another example of where competence and confidence build this upward spiral of positivity and hope. Even just in little things like sitting in a posture and instantly feeling, okay, I got this. Let's take several deep breaths together. And just noticing the expansion of the body with each breath, the rise and fall of the torso and the belly. Reminding ourselves there's no right or wrong way to breathe. It's involuntary. So we can slow it down and we can deepen breath. That's where we have control. But we don't need to. We don't need to make a thing of it. We're just noticing the breath and what it does to the body. As always, apply gratitude to these simple processes, the ability to sit in meditation or stand or lie down, the ability to breathe easily. What a great blessing that is, and how we take that for granted. And as we feel our minds and bodies focusing, gathering, connecting to one another, connecting to ourselves, also expressing gratitude for this opportunity to sit with our inner being, our inner source energy, and to connect to the greater source energy that that keeps us all rolling, aligning ourselves with unconditional love. What an important and rewarding opportunity that is. How can we turn more of our thoughts and feelings into love? As I deepen my meditation practice and learn more about myself, I would say that's the most important thing I do in any day. It's more important than any of my actions, is aligning with unconditional love, identifying negative emotions and thoughts that prevent me from aligning with unconditional love. I don't need to understand everything. Sometimes that can be helpful. Sometimes that can get us on a wheel. But I can do my best to let go and apply forgiveness for myself, for others. Let's stretch out our awareness, incorporating the anchor of listening, listening for sounds within the body, the sound of breathing, of shuffling, swallowing, maybe clenching and unclenching your teeth, tummy gurgling, crackling knuckles, and just realizing we are a very, very busy place. And there's so much going on here that we don't stop and notice. And what a relief it feels to stop and notice, to give ourselves this time to be available to ourselves. So as we continue to breathe and listen with gratitude, notice the emotional and expansiveness that arises as we give thanks for this opportunity to pay attention to ourselves in a very, very meaningful way. Continuing to notice the breath rise and fall, if you've been holding it while you're listening, and stretching out our awareness to the practice room that you're in. Maybe it's your bedroom or office or car if you're listening to this podcast later. Maybe you're walking or running. Wherever you are, listen to the environment and count how many things you hear that you hadn't noticed until you stopped to listen. At this point, thoughts and emotions have likely been crossing your stream. And as I mentioned at the beginning of our practice today, I invite you to pay attention to them. I invite all of us to shift those thoughts with this magical word, yes, that inspires patience, perseverance, and compassion for ourselves, for our journeys, for those of others. And understanding this magical word yet reminds us that we are not static. We are constantly in flux, in flow. And it may not seem that way when we are facing pretty serious problems, relationships, health, work. I read somewhere that every cell in our body is replaced within a year. So the me that's sitting here is not the same physical object that was sitting here a year ago. Isn't that incredible? So what can stay static is the stinking thinking. Our vibration, our energy, our thoughts, if they are consistently self-attacking, despite evidence around us that everything is constantly in flow, there is always opportunity for renewal, for positive change. And that's got to come inside out. It comes thoughts first, manifests into actions and physical reality much later on. If we are waiting for our physical reality to change, but the stinking thinking hasn't changed, not possible. So let's commit today to letting go of static thoughts that are not helping us, reminding ourselves to get on board with the flow of change that spirals us into confidence and competence. And just taking several deep breaths into the hopefulness that focusing on renewal and change and promise brings. Over the week, let's commit to exploring further in the various parts of our lives, family, work, friends, um, relationships. Explore where our thinking seems stuck and rigid and counter to the natural law of flow that is in our physical, spiritual, psychological lives. We ask for the awareness to monitor and allow these thoughts to rise and pass with compassion, with ease, with equanimity. Do we identify these thoughts? Wish for them to pass and then one and done? No, it is constant attention to the shifting. If we are facing a very significant life issue, this process can take a while if we're really holding on to self-punitive thoughts. Feelings of unworthiness, inability to have power or voice. And bringing our practice to a close. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.